All right, well, good afternoon, everyone. I hope everyone is all well. I felt it was important, and let me introduce myself. I'm Michael Pickett. I serve as the Chief of Police for the Birmingham Police Department. That being said, I felt it was very important to get in front of you all to kind of communicate and convey exactly what the plan is for the summer of 2025. We've made some really good strides this year in 2025 as it relates to reducing our homicides and our violent crime, so we want to continue that into the summer months. That being said, as we move into the summer months, the Birmingham Police Department is taking decisive action to ensure that our city remains safe for every resident, every business owner, and every visitor as best as possible. Today, I'm very proud to announce the BPD Strategic Plan for summer 2025. It's a proactive approach to the community to ensure community safety that will be implemented throughout all precincts of Birmingham. This plan is rooted in three key principles: visibility, accountability, and engagement. We're increasing our presence in high traffic areas by installing our trailer cameras as well as some of our pole-mounted surveillance cameras. They will remain in place throughout the summer. These are tools that will support our real-time crime center so that we can monitor more and we can have a more efficient deployment with more intelligence for our patrol officers that are actually responding. We will also be conducting targeted enforcement operations twice a month for June and July. Our business compliance unit, they will be focusing on nuisance clubs, illegal clubs, those establishments operating illegally and just are creating a problem in our neighborhoods. We'll be focusing on them, ensuring that they have proper licensing and they have the proper public safety plan that they're required to have in place and that is being implemented properly. Also, we will be prioritizing our young people. Every precinct will enforce juvenile curfews, and we'll be conducting dedicated operations to address violations, and we'll report those outcomes periodically throughout the summer to keep the public informed. To address reckless behavior in our streets, we will deploy or implement our Operation Night Rider strategy if we see an uptick in exhibition driving and things of that nature. We will also be utilizing what we call our larger tickets, the city ordinance tickets for the loud noise ordinances. So for those with the motorcycles, and we know you got some great sound systems on those motorcycles and the slingshots and all these smaller motorized vehicles, when you're in the city, you'll be required to operate that at a normalized volume. Those extremely loud speakers on the motorcycles and the slingshots, that's designed for the interstate, where the wind is higher, not for downtown Birmingham. It's annoyance to the residents that live downtown, to those who are trying to enjoy a dinner. So we need to be respectful, or having a drink out on the patio of a bar. We need to be respectful of all those patrons and visitors and business owners and residents in our city. We love to see those vehicles. We want you to have a good time riding on Sundays and things of that nature, but do it in a respectful manner to where everyone in our community can enjoy their day. Our real-time crime center will expand its capacity by adding a few more analysts to ensure that we can quickly identify threats and deploy officers as needed. Also, our patrol officers will conduct some more checkpoints. You've seen those in the past, but we'll be implementing those a little bit more throughout the summer. And of course, we will continue to work with Jefferson County on our stolen vehicle task force. We have made some arrests as it relates to the stolen vehicles and the recovery of stolen vehicles, and we will be reporting out on that shortly. Birmingham essentially deserves a summer that is vibrant, that is full of fun. We have our new amphitheater opening up. We have a ton of new restaurants that are opening up throughout the city and other businesses and establishments. We have a ton of new residents that are just now moving to Birmingham, and a ton of residents that have been living here their entire lives. So the key is to keep the trend going in lowering crime, especially violent crime in our city. So with that being said, I'm hoping that all families and visitors of Birmingham can enjoy their summer. So I would like to do a small recap And then I want to finish with some activities, as I mentioned earlier, for our young people. We want to be able to, kind of cater to them and let you all know what programs are going on, the hours of our parks throughout the city and things of that nature. So that being said, the first thing that we discussed earlier is essentially the patrol and business compliance units. They will be focusing on our entertainment areas. We'll deploy the camera trailers throughout the summer in strategic areas. We'll be doing two operations per month in June and July, and that may spill into August as well. Also, of course, our business compliance unit, they will be focusing on the clubs. We'll be enforcing our curfew ordinance for our juveniles. We will deploy Operation Night Rider as needed if we see an uptick. Also, our real-time crime center will be more robust with more analysts, more checkpoints. Oh yeah, the community engagement piece. So we will ensure that at our neighborhood meetings throughout the summer, we're going to have at least a sergeant up to a captain that will be engaged in these community meetings, so we can make sure that we're providing the best service. If there's an uptick in a certain community, we want to know about it. We want to be able to go ahead and assign officers or whatever resources are needed to go ahead and address whatever issues are going on in the heart of our communities. Again, as I mentioned, the Stolen Vehicle Task Force, and then also I will finish with this. The Special Ops Bureau will be working in accordance with state probation, pardon and parole for any violators, and especially those repeat offenders that are in violation of their conditions with their parole, to ensure that they're in full compliance as well. Again, this isn't to target any specific group, but this is for the entire city to ensure that we have a safe and fun summer. That being said, City of Birmingham has 4 operating pools. That's at Memorial Park, MLK Park, Martin Luther King Park, McAlpine Park, and Crestwood Park. And their hours of operation are 12 p.m. to 6 p.m., and that's going to be Tuesday through Friday. Friendly reminder that Railroad Park closes at 11 p.m. That's every day. Railroad Park closes at 11 p.m. At times, Railroad Park may have private events, so you will have to check with them to see if on that particular day, if it's available to the general public. Each Birmingham Recreational Center is open from 12 p.m. to 8 p.m. daily. That's 12 p.m. to 8 p.m. daily. These recreation centers are offering summer camps for kids ages 5 to 12, with registration being open right now. If parents are interested, they can reach out to the rec center directly, or they can contact the Legion Field, which is the main office for Park and Rec, at 205-254-2391. And as it relates to the curfew, some people may not know exactly the stipulations behind that. So essentially, if you're under the age or have a child that's under the age of 17 years old, there's a curfew in the city of Birmingham to where you must be accompanied by a parent or legal guardian after the hours of 9 p.m. up to 6 a.m. That's going to be Sunday through Thursday, 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. You must be accompanied by a parent or legal guardian. On the weekends, essentially 11 p.m. on Friday and Saturday until 6 a.m. that following day, you must be accompanied by a parent or legal guardian, or your child must be accompanied by a parent or legal guardian. So I just wanted to arm everyone with a little bit more information, be transparent with you all to let you know what Birmingham Police is doing to ensure that we continue to have a safe and fun summer. Our goal is to have all of our Birmingham City School students and all other students that visit our city to return to school this fall and have an amazing fall school year. So that is the goal. So if there are any questions, I can take questions now.
Yeah, so was there anything specific that prompted you to come up with this plan? Is it aimed at students? Is it aimed at everybody? What caused you to formulate this?
So I think that it's important to have a plan. I mean, we know historically in law enforcement that there's an uptick in activity and, unfortunately, crimes during the summer months, just like we know there's an uptick in, robberies and thefts during the holidays. So it's important that we go ahead and plan ahead, and then it's also important that we communicate the plan. Oftentimes we do have plans, but sometimes we don't mention them, but I think it's important that we communicate that to the public so they'll know what's going on, and when they start to see a little bit more enforcement, they'll know the why and the how we're trying to do these things.
Is the curfew 17 and under or 16 and under?
It's 16 and under. So for those that are 17, 18, 19, they don't fall under the curfew rules, but they do fall under the laws and ordinances of Birmingham and the state of Alabama. So they will still be enforced. So.
And the curfew, what's the punishment if you're found violating that curfew? And could parents be held accountable if their child is caught?
Great question. So parents will be held accountable. So we'll take that child into custody. Of course, it's for their safety. And I will highlight, in the past 2 weeks, I'll say 2 to 3 weeks, in our city, we've had a 14-year-old that was shot after the hours of 11 p.m. At that time, that 14-year-old was not accompanied by a parent or legal guardian. Thankfully, it was a non-life-threatening injury. We're very thankful for that, but we want to be on the proactive side to ensure that kids, if they're going to be out past the curfew times, that they're accompanied by a parent or legal guardian, and that will hopefully help their likelihood of being injured or being involved in something that's illegal or harmful. We're hoping that'll reduce those possibilities.
With the amphitheater opening this summer, is there anything you guys are doing in that part of town just to make sure everybody feels safe if they're traveling that way to go to the concert?
So we've had several meetings with the leadership at BJCC and the amphitheater leadership, security meetings. That's something that Deputy Chief Foster has had his hand on quite firmly, and I'll actually be meeting with BJCC later today. But yes, so we do have a plan in place, not only a safety plan, but a traffic plan. We'll be deploying. We already have some cameras that are out there, so they'll be monitored by the Real-Time Crime Center. So we will have a presence in that footprint of the amphitheater.
You mentioned, I think it was your second point, the targeted enforcement. Are those like special operations that you can't discuss, or?
So essentially what you've been seeing with our special enforcement teams, the set teams, we report on those numbers weekly. That's going to continue. That will continue. And we are also dedicating some efforts to the code enforcement as it relates to, we have several, well, I'm not going to say several, but we have a number of warrants that are outstanding for FTAs as it relates to code enforcement violations, dumping, and things of that nature. We have teams that are dedicated to address those warrants as well, so we'll be focusing on that as well.
We're expecting some protests in Birmingham this coming weekend, but possibly throughout the summer as well. Is there anything BPD is doing to prepare for those protests to add an extra layer of security there?
So yes, so we look at that intel, and we're in constant communications with our Fusion Center here in Alabama that flows information from all over the United States. So when we identify that, we make sure that we have resources in place to monitor it. That can be actual personnel and or cameras. So we'll be monitoring that, and yes, we do have a plan in place to deploy, if things kind of get out of hand, but we're fully prepared for that. Any other questions? All right, I appreciate everyone's time. Thank you.